Before we begin, let's slow this moment down. This isn't about the fireworks. It isn't about parades, speeches, or polished myths. This is about the night before, when nothing is certain and everything still could fail. Where exactly are we in time? It's July 3rd, 1776. Philadelphia is dim and uneasy. Candles burn low in crowded rooms. Windows are shuttered. Doors stay closed longer than usual. Inside the Pennsylvania State House and nearby taverns, men argue in hushed, urgent tones. Papers are folded, unfolded, folded again. No one is sleeping well. Outside, the city feels ordinary, too ordinary for what's being considered. Horses clop down familiar streets. Homes are quiet. Families eat supper without knowing how close the ground beneath them is about to shift. This is not a city celebrating. It's a city deciding whether to risk everything it knows. What do we usually skip over? We skip the fear. History loves the 4th of July, the declarations, the certainty, the clean language of independence already achieved. But July 3rd doesn't fit comfortably into patriotic storytelling. Because fear doesn't photograph well, doubt doesn't engrave nicely on monuments, and hesitation doesn't make for easy slogans. Yet this moment, the waiting, the arguing, the second-guessing, is where the real weight lives. Before freedom is declared, it must be chosen, and choice is always quieter than celebration. What was truly at risk? Independence wasn't symbolic. It wasn't rhetorical. Signing that document meant treason plain and simple. If the effort failed, the consequences were severe. Execution, imprisonment, confiscation of property, families ruined. There was no guarantee of victory, no assurance that history would remember them kindly or at all. These weren't abstract risks. They were personal. Men signing their names weren't betting on an idea. They were gambling their homes, their children's futures, and their lives on a belief that had not yet proven itself. That's what makes this moment so heavy. Independence wasn't inevitable. It was fragile. Why does this moment still matter? Because courage is often misunderstood. We like to think courage arrives once outcomes are clear, once victory feels possible, once momentum is obvious. But real courage lives earlier than that. It lives in rooms filled with doubt, in conversations that end without consensus, in decisions made without certainty of reward. July 3rd reminds us that freedom isn't born from confidence. It's born from commitment made in uncertainty. That lesson still applies to movements, to institutions, and to individuals choosing difficult paths without guarantees. Why start the walk here? Because freedom doesn't begin with fireworks. It begins with silence, with ink hovering over paper, with hands shaking slightly before they sign, with the knowledge that once this line is crossed, there's no returning to what was. Starting the walk here lets us listen to that silence. It lets us feel the hesitation, the weight, the breath, held just before history moves. Because this is where independence actually begins, not in triumph, but in doubt. This is why this moment matters. Not because of what was celebrated the next day, but because of what was risked the night before. And if you're ready to walk into that uncertainty and listen to courage forming quietly, the walk is waiting.